Well, let's take you down south to Zimbabwe, where the president of the country, Emmerson Mnangagwa, has called for the remains of colonialist Cecil John Rhodes to be exhumed and repatriated back to Britain. Now, calls for Rhodes' exhumation dates back to the year 2012. The late former president, Robert Mugabe, blocked war veterans and ZANU-PF politicians from exhuming his remains, saying Rhodes' legacy was part of the country's history, Zimbabwe. Now, the veterans had blamed his grave, that's Rhodes' grave to be more precise, for the lack of rain in the Matobo area.
Rhodes was a colonialist and a politician who played a dominant role in Southern Africa in the late 19th century. Now, a businessman who made his fortune in South Africa's diamond fields. He founded the De Beers Diamond Firm, now the present Zimbabwe and Zambia, whose colonial names were Northern and Southern Rhodesia, named after Cecil Rhodes. Rhodes himself died in 1902. Now, his self-chosen burial place is at Matobo Hills National Park, south of Bulawayo.
Now, joining us from Harare is our correspondent out there in Zimbabwe, Lala Mgwenya, to tell us more on this issue. Lala, good morning to you. Cecil Rhodes is no new name when it comes to colonialism in the southern parts of Africa, but what is the very important about this exhumation for Zimbabweans at this time?
Good morning, Olisa and Olichi, and compliments of the festive season.
Same to you.
Thank you. Okay, so Cecil John Rhodes is regarded as one of the pioneers, really, of apartheid in South Africa and basically in the southern region of Africa, Zambia, modern day Zambia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. And he was a businessman, and some people say he was a very ruthless businessman. And it is normal for people, like for Zimbabweans, to feel that why is there a need to keep honoring this person buried in one of Zimbabwe's heritage site. By the way, Matobo Hills was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2003. So you can see how war veterans, people that went to war to fight to liberate this country, may really, really want this grave destroyed and his remains sent back to Europe.
All right. Now, Lala, can you tell us some of Cecil Rhodes' legacies in Zimbabwe?
Well, his legacy is that of a colonial businessman, of course, who helped build schools and started the company, De Beers, that ran most part of Southern Africa. And also, he is recommended for pioneering and for making sure that there was a railway line that connected South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia.
All right.
Right. We know the name Rhodesia, Northern and Southern Rhodesia, was perhaps coined from Cecil Rhodes, who was a colonial conqueror back then in the southern parts of Africa. Now that Emmerson Mnangagwa wants his body, his remains exhumed, does he get support from other people in Zimbabwe? Because Mugabe blocked the federals from doing so, saying Rhodes' legacy is part of the country's history. Will the Mnangagwa get support?
Okay, so this talk that the president had recently here in Harare, he had a meeting with traditional leaders from all over the country, and this is where he told them about how he wants to see the remains exhumed and sent back to Europe. And obviously, he's got the support from ZANU-PF, and he's got the support from traditional leaders. And I'm sure he's got the support from other ordinary Zimbabweans. And remember, this retaining of his remains, of Cecil John Rhodes' remains, is supposed to be in exchange for some of artifacts that are believed to have been stolen from different parts in the country and were taken to Europe, to UK, to Britain, to be precise. So what the president is saying is that bring back what belongs to us, and we give you back what belongs to you. But obviously, this is something that is up for debate. And remember, this very site, Cecil John Rhodes' grave, is actually a tourist attraction, which receives over thousands of people each year just to come and see the grave. And most of those people are people from Europe, people from Britain, to be precise, and even local tourists that go to see Cecil John Rhodes' grave. So it's going to be quite a debatable issue for some time, I think, because there are those that are going to be worried about the money coming in that is brought in by tourists to this heritage site. Then there are those that are very traditional that are saying, no, why should we have a colonialist grave in a sacred place? Because Matobo Hills on its own, it's got traditional shrines. It's got one particular shrine that is in Njelele, where the people of the Kalanga tribe used to go, and they still do till this day. They go there, they pray to the ancestors, and they sing, they dance for rains to come. And interestingly, the president said to the traditional chiefs, now we don't know that when our people go to pray to our ancestors, are they praying to Rhodes or they are praying to our ancestors? It's confusing. So he needs to go, and we remain with the ancestors only.
Now, Lala, I mean, you just mentioned the rains. I mean, the veterans came out to blame his remains, that's Rhodes' remains, for being the reason why rain hasn't fallen at Matobo area. How is it really possible that the remains, which is a tourist site generating revenue for the country, has come to be a curse, not allowing rain to fall?
Could be weather.
Okay, remember we are talking about traditional people. We're talking about traditional people who believe in African traditions. So obviously they will think that because there is a shrine, remember, at that same place where they go to sing and pray and dance for rain, and rains come, and it's been done for centuries and centuries. So in their mind, they do believe that Rhodes may be disturbing the African spirituality around that place, because he's not African, and he's someone who actually suppressed or oppressed Africans. So from their standpoint, as Africanists, as people who believe in the African way of life, they do believe without a doubt that the presence of a foreign body in that sacred place really is called.
All right, Lala, this is quite an interesting one. We'll continue to follow it and see if it really will happen. Emmerson Mnangagwa getting his wish for Cecil John Rhodes, the former colonialist for Rhodesia, being exhumed and taken back to Britain. And if it does happen, well, and rain falls, Lala, you'll be the first to tell me, won't you?
Oh, yes. Whatever happened to climate change and global warming? Well, thank you so much, Lala, for giving